I never planned to fall for a man who ironed his polo shirts with military precision and arranged his kitchen spices alphabetically. But there was something about Whitford Hale that made my own chaos feel almost elegant. He was order. I was a storm rolling off Lake Superior. Yet on the night, he pressed the hotel key into my palm and murmured, "No drama, Aldrin, just you and me." I felt the thunder quiet inside my chest. Hey, gorgeous soul reading this. Before we dive any deeper into Whitford's perfectly folded sheets and my disastrously tangled heart, smash that like button, thump subscribe bell, and drop us a comment telling us where you're watching from. Go on, do it now. It costs nothing, but it fuels stories like this. If you slip away without leaving love, you'll feel that little twist of regret later. And we wouldn't want that, would we? The elevator of the Marquette Bay hummed as I rode to the 7th floor, clutching his favorite pair of deep green briefs beneath my coat. He'd once said that color reminded him of pine forests after rain, fresh, dangerous, alive. Put them on and nothing else, his text had read. We'll leave the rest to imagination. Imagination? Mine was already riotous, with mouth tracing the hem, his deliberate fingers sliding the fabric down. That disciplined self-control is snapping like a violin string. Calm, Aldrin, I told myself while the lift doors parted. He said no drama. But loving Whitford had always been an exercise in balancing on knife edges. My need to be seen versus his terror of messy emotions. Tonight, I give him simplicity, wrapped in the scent of pine green cotton and unspoken promises. Room 714 smelled of bergamot and faint lake wind through a cracked window. Whitford stood by the curtains, shirtless, reading some hotel stationery as though it contained nuclear codes. His body was sculpted restraint, each muscle cut sharp beneath pale skin, dark hair dusting his chest like a secret map. He looked up, eyes flint gray. Locked the door. I did. Dropped my coat. Now I wore only his favorite underwear, my skin prickling beneath his gaze. A slow smile curved his mouth, breaking that officer on parade poise. Turn around, he said. I obeyed, heartbeat racing. He approached. Fingers ghosting the waistband before tracing the curve of my hip. Perfect fit, he murmured. His breath warmed the back of my neck. No drama tonight. Aldrin, just listen. He reached into his pocket and produced a pair of noise-canceling earbuds, slipped them into my hands. Music only you can hear, he whispered. Put them in. I placed them, and the world flooded with soft jazz guitar, lazy, seductive. He guided me to the bed, eased me down until I knelt on the mattress, back arched. With every note, his palms explored, across shoulders, down spine, pausing at the dip above the briefs. I felt him watch the rise and fall of my breathing, as if measuring how much of me he could consume before I shattered the calm. He took off the earbuds. Silence bloomed. Tell me what the music felt like. Like longing, I said. My voice trembled. Like wanting you to ruin me, but gently. His throat worked. Stand. When I stood, he peeled the briefs down inch by torturous inch, eyes never leaving mine. He knelt to kiss the skin as it emerged, hip bone, thigh, the sensitive hollow near my groin. I was already achingly hard, but Whit didn't rush. He held me in his mouth with slow, reverent pressure, tongue swirling, then paused to ask, "Still no drama? If this is calm, I'm terrified of your chaos." I breathed. He chuckled, a low, private sound, then swallowed me deeper. My vision flickered. I gripped his hair, the world narrowing to heat, suction, the sweet scrape of teeth. When release pulsed through me, I cried out, and he kept me captive until every tremor subsided. He rose, lips slick, eyes wild now. "Your turn," he said, voice hoarse. I pushed him onto the mattress, slid his belt free, and met the heated length straining his trousers. As I mouthed him through thin fabric, which composure split, hands fisting sheets, head thrown back, I undid the zip, drew him out, and tasted salt skin and control undone. He arched when I swallowed him whole. God, Aldrin. I teased the underside with my tongue, let him slip free, then took him again until his hips bucked. Just before he came, he pulled me up, flipping our positions with surprising force. "Inside you," he panted. "Now." I reached the nightstand where he'd placed lube and a foil packet, always prepared, my orderly wit. Moments later he pressed against me, thick and stretching. The burn was exquisite. He paused to let me breathe, lifting my chin. "Drama? Only the best kind," I whispered. He thrust, slow at first, building into deliberate, punishing strokes that pushed breath from my lungs. Sweat slicked our bodies. The headboard tapped the wall, like a metronome. He kissed me fiercely, swallowing my moans, and when his pace faltered into erratic tremors, I angled my hips, meeting him thrust for thrust until pleasure coiled hot and relentless. We shattered together, Whip biting my shoulder to stifle his cry, my own climax flooding between us. He stayed inside while we caught breath, fingers laced with mine. For once, there were no tidy words, no tidy hearts, just the hum of blood and the lake breeze through the curtains. Whip pulled out gently, disposed a condom, then lay beside me, arm draped across my waist. "That green," he said, voice drowsy. "It does something to me." I noticed. Silence lengthened until he exhaled. I said, "No drama, because I'm scared, Aldrin. You make me messy." I turned, brushing hair from his brow. Messy isn't always bad. He studied me, that military steel softening. "Stay. Not just a night. Move in with me." My heart stuttered. "Your condo is a symphony of straight lines." The perfect discord," he finished. "I want the music." I kissed him, tasting promise. "Okay." His smile was small, genuine. "Good. First rule, you agree more often. Second rule," I countered, "you learn to live with a bit of drama." He rolled me beneath him again, laughter vibrating against my chest. Starting now. Starting now. And we began a slow, languid round two, this time less frantic, more exploration. Lips mapping freckles, fingers tracing scars, bodies memorizing new territory called us. When dawn tinted the lake pale rose, Whit whispered, "No more farewell briefs. Just forever." I believed him. I didn't move in right away. I told myself I'd give it a week. Let the adrenaline die down. See if Whitford really meant it. You don't unpack your life into someone's drawers because of post-coital declarations. But then he handed me a key the next morning, on a gold chain. No words, just a look. And I knew. So I moved in. And within 3 days, I nearly moved right back out. His sock drawer was labeled by color. His fridge had a map. Like an actual laminated chart for where things should go. He vacuumed twice a day. Twice. I sneezed wrong once, and he checked the air filters. "I'm chaos," I told him from his marble kitchen island. "You'll hate me within a week." Which stirred his coffee in a clockwise motion, exactly 4 times. "I already knew you were chaos. I just didn't realize you sneezed like a banshee." I threw a grape at him. He caught it midair, with his mouth. But there was more to it than quirks. One night, I reached for him in bed, and he flinched, like my hand might detonate him. "I don't sleep with people," he murmured into the dark. "You slept with me last week." I meant in the same bed. That part, it's intimate. I turned on my side. "You invited me to move in." "I know." Silence again. Heavy. Complicated. So I whispered, "Then let's start over. I'll sleep on the couch until you're ready." He rolled toward me, pressed his forehead to mine. "I don't want you on the couch. I just don't want to lose control." "You won't. You already have it," he said. That's the terrifying part. The next time we made love, it was in the hallway, not the bedroom, not the couch, not the kitchen where he made protein smoothies with disgusting precision. It started with an argument about toothpaste. Yes, toothpaste. "You squeeze in the middle like a rabid raccoon," he snapped. I laughed. That's rich coming from a man who folds his dirty laundry. It's hygienic. It's neurotic. It's called discipline. It's called you need to be damned against this wall. He stopped mid-breath. I stepped closer, toe-to-toe, chest-to-chest. I could feel the heat roll off him. His hand moved first, curling around the back of my neck. Say that again. You heard me. He pushed me, gently but firmly, against the wall. His mouth crashed into mine, teeth, tongue, unfiltered want. There was nothing polished about it. He bit my lip until it swelled. I grabbed his ass through those insufferably perfect khakis and yanked him into me. His hands tore at my belt, dragged my jeans down, underwear twisted at my thighs. No prep? I gasped. He met my eyes, dark and wild. You trust me? I nodded. Then he lifted one leg, braced it against the wall, spat in his palm, and slicked himself. The stretch, when he entered, made my vision go white. I clung to his shoulders, feeling him fill me slowly, inch after burning inch. He didn't speak, just breath ragged and low into my ear. Mine, he growled, punctuating the word with a deep thrust. My moan cracked open the quiet. He started slow, hips grinding, then built a rhythm that sent my back thudding against the wall. Every thrust slammed the air from my lungs. His teeth found my throat, biting, marking. Say you're mine, he demanded. I'm yours, I whimpered. He reached around, stroked me in time with his thrusts, and when I came, it was messy, raw, devastating. He followed with a broken groan, spilling into me with final, stuttering hips. We stood like that, joined, shaking, breathless. Then he pulled out slowly, kissed the back of my neck, and whispered, "Let's fight more often." Sunday morning, I woke to the smell of pancakes. Not the frozen kind either. Real, scratch-made Whitford Hill pancakes. When I walked into the kitchen, he was wearing nothing but a towel and an apron. Chest bare, hair tousled, a god among mortals. You made pancakes? I like feeding people, he trailed off. People who matter. I wrapped my arms around him from behind, kissed the base of his spine, then feed me in bed. He turned, flipped the stove off, and lifted me with ease onto the counter. Or, he said, part of my robe, I'll just eat you. He went down on me like it was breakfast, slow, sweet, savored. I tangled my fingers in his hair, moaned his name like a prayer. He didn't stop until I was shaking, spilling over, back arched, heels drumming the wood. Best breakfast I've ever had, he smirked. You missed a spot, I murmured, pulling him up and kissing him hard. We didn't eat the pancakes until noon. That night, we had dinner with his parents. His mother eyed my nose ring. His father called me interesting, would squeeze my knee under the table and whispered, "You're doing great." So I whispered back, "They don't scare me." His smirk said, "That's why I love you." It took a month before he finally said it. We were in bed, naked, limbs tangled. My head rested on his chest, and I could hear the nervous thud of his heartbeat. "I've never said this to anyone," he said. I didn't breathe. "But I love you, Aldrin." I sat up, stunned. "Say it again." He did. So I climbed on top of him, kissed him slow, and made love to him like a man claiming forever. Our rhythm was tender, not rushed. I rode him with rolling hips, his hands guiding me, our eyes locked. Every time I sank down, he moaned my name, quiet, reverent. His thumb stroked my thighs, my ribs, my heart. When I came, it felt like flying. He followed, arching, spilling inside me with a gasp of mine. I collapsed onto him, our skin slick, mouth searching, hearts full. No drama? I teased against his lips. "No," he whispered. "Just love."